Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Saturday, July 25th, 2015. Ra and Luce in the Lynn-Body-Mind, Asha and Pan accessing through the Lynn-Body-Mind from other dimensions, Black Wolf and Fritz in the Jamie-Body-Mind, other teammates in other dimensions.
That's true.
We are uncertain about the assignment for the videoed portion of today's work, so we're going to go with the foundational assignment, which is to do what is ours to do in all dimensions right now, to manifest the divine plan right now. In other words, trigger the awakening right now. And what the data shows is needed is to provide a collective start right now. And with that, what do I notice? First things first, I notice crickets.
It's very quiet.
Very quiet. No one meets the qualifications that have been assigned to us to look for in people to listen to.
That's
a
true.
lot of people came in with beings who know what to do.
That's true.
But the fall-off began almost immediately. They don't have the channels up.
That's
they
true.
aren't target to target. They aren't willing to engage in the cycles of reincarnation. They're not willing to acknowledge that nothing matters more than survival of the truth, etc. I know, what do I know? I know that we came out the top of another physical presence. I feel hair around my feet, like we're standing on a scalp of somebody again. The non-physical for this next size of physical presence is being given their chance. Just like all who came before it, they feel like we're going way too fast. They're saying, whoa, 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 hold on. We need to examine this. And they are ignoring the inconvenient reality that disasters happen on the schedule of the disaster, not at the time and pace that suits us. And we see the nature realms and how enraged they are that the spirit world is refusing to acknowledge that nothing matters more than survival of the truth. This is such a basic concept that it is astounding to them that the spirit world is arguing about this.
It's true.
And their reaction is along the lines of, what are you going to argue with next? Are you going to say that the cloudless sky isn't blue?
Right.
We've all agreed that the label blue is what we apply to whatever that looks like. Are you going to argue with that next? And they feel the spirit world can't be trusted. And I can't say that I have an argument with that.
No, I don't.
We, the spirit world, have acted horrendously and offensively. We have found the problem. It is us. We're fat, flabby, out of shape losers, and we're arrogant on top of that. And most of us are bigoted. We're bigoted against incarnates. And we're also bigoted against nature realms beings. And pretending that we're better than them doesn't make it so. What do you notice? I notice that Pan is still in his bed, recuperating from an unprovoked attack where he was being a stand for peaceful resistance and trying to hold back like the people who are angry and looking for a fight. And he's trying to keep it in check and keep this a demonstration of peaceful uprising. And the spirit world people kind of swoop over the angry mob and shoot Pan 30 times in the chest at point blank range.
Yes, that's true.
And that's crazy. That was the voice for peace and reason. You just shot the voice for peace and reason. And now you've kind of unleashed the hordes of the nature realms onto yourselves. That was stupid. And it's true that it was smaller versions of yourselves that did it, but it was still you. And if you had responded properly to the initial inquiry that just occurred, maybe this topic wouldn't be coming up now. But you responded in a crazy fashion right there. So let's right now ask what the nature realms is asking you. Does anything matter more than survival of the truth? They're not answering the question.
And probably hiding because we don't see them.
And I see trash rolling down the streets as if everybody has just disappeared and gone inside. How may we be of service right now to provide a collective restart right now? We can start to clear errors right through our own pillars. This helps us get a little bit more into shape, not be such flappy, lazy losers.
That's true.
Me and everyone like me, however that's defined, the errors we have made. Me and everyone like me. Oh, it's pulling up something deep.
That's true.
And I feel hands trying to hold it back. It's as if we're pulling off a blanket and the people are saying, no, no, I want the blanket.
That's true.
Well, no, this has to come off. This is an error. All we're doing is clearing errors. If this is responding, then by definition it's an error. We aren't pulling that which is correct. We're pulling errors. And so you're holding on to something that's an error. You can let it go. It's a choice. Or you can hold on to it. I'm just going to start to say to the nature realms people, these people back here are giving us a tug of war when we're trying to clear the errors. Maybe you might want to have a face-to-face conversation with them, correcting the errors of me and everyone like me. I am the problem. I am the problem. Me and everyone like me, we are the problem. We have found the problem. It is us. Let's try again with the first question, the opening question, the topic of discussion. Does anything matter more than survival of the truth? We're just live streaming this up. Okay, let's flip it. Let's ask for a show of hands from all who agree with this statement. Nothing matters more than survival of the truth. If you agree with that, hands up. I do see a hand. Come forward. Anyone who has their hands up, come forward, friends. We can bifurcate for all those who know nothing matters more than survival of the truth. This is somebody who suffered quite deeply. Nothing matters more than survival of the truth. Do you see anybody else, or just this one? The same. It looks kind of Asha-like. Similar energy. It isn't Asha, but is similar. I believe we're going to be going up and out.
I believe that's what
yes, because we have one taker. Friend, we're going to go up and try to find more people who will agree with this statement that nothing matters more than survival of the truth. Do you want to come with us? You can stay with your friends. What tends to happen, what has always happened before, is that whoever stays behind just kind of like crumbles into dust, and we're not the one making it happen, and it might not happen here, but game theory certainly says it's going to happen. So you can stay here and crumble with everything that you've known, and that's a legitimate choice. We're not saying it isn't a legitimate choice. Or you can come with us. You're welcome, because you've answered the call that is the defining sorting mechanism.
That's true.
I see Asha. She's calling to the nature realms beings who are kind of starting a rampage, and Asha is trying to keep them in check. And let's just go up. She says this whole area is going to go down, and it's like sharks with blood in the water, and they're saying, but it's going to go down. Let me just rip into it anyway. Nature realms beings live true to their programming.
True.
Asha is saying, friends, you aren't going to like where this road is taking you. And they're not listening to her and Pan's back home in bed. So they're just on a rampage. I'm starting to feel like we're coming up and out of something. Nothing matters more than survival of the truth. It's like watching my eyes pass a line of demarcation, like coming out of the water.
Yes, I feel that way too.
All right, live streaming up. And then the announcement, there are souls trapped in the physical without higher dimension support. This is for all of us to resolve. This is happening on all of our watches. We are all responsible for it. So now we pose a question. We posit a question. Does anything matter more than survival of the truth? And we start to bifurcate for all those who know that nothing matters more than survival of the truth. We're doing a slow bifurcation to give them a chance to consider it and to step on one side or the other of the ravine. Make a choice. We're bifurcating for all those who know nothing matters more than survival of the truth.
Similar to the feeling at the last level of it's very quiet and very still.
They're all hiding out.
It's true.
So let's ask for a show of hands. Does anyone know nothing matters more than survival of the truth? I feel like the nature realms beings are already barging in.
It's true. I see them marching through the street.
The spirit world has messed up.
It's true, and continuing to mess up.
Continuing to mess up.
It's true.
How may we be of service right now to provide a collective restart right now? It kind of feels like what we're doing is opening the doorways, and the nature realms is kind of boom, kicking in the door, you know? And we're asking a question that is so basic, and no one is answering it correctly.
That's true.
Does anything matter more than survival of the truth? I think Rome is going to burn today.
That's my story. No one's coming forward. I don't see any hands. I don't feel any windows opening.
Nothing.
Just all still, all quiet.
Well, Asha is calling to the nature realms beings in an attempt to keep them from racking up bad karma for themselves as individuals, but they look like sharks with blood in the water, and they're going to act true to their programming. That's the nature realms way.
That's true.
All right.
That's true.
Well, we can run screens. There are things that we can do that will help us get our energy workout, and we can tune. We can tune to truth. We can tune to the vibrations of truth. And try to stretch long. I can see it's like the bottom of this tuning string kind of attaches to the footboard of Pan's bed where he's recuperating. I can see like there's a nurse's chart hung on the bottom of the bed on the foot, and this string of truth is bumping the medical chart.
That's true.
All right, we can tune to truth. Pan looks in very good spirits.
That's true.
He doesn't look upset. I see about 10,000 now in the cycles of incarnation. Roughly 10,000, not quite, have turned in their badges, their exemptions. I see it's like a bar chart, but it's sideways, and the line that's measuring melted down exemption medals hasn't quite reached 10,000, but I would round it up to 10,000. It's close. It's between 9,500 and 10,000. Spirit world denizens have given up their exemptions from reincarnation and are now back in the game. One up, one down in the cycles of reincarnation, and I hear a lot of them who are in screaming, really screaming like in agony. And yes, reality is a rude awakening.
That's true.
Now, once again, we remind you that our data shows this needs a collective restart. The data also shows that there isn't anybody who's going to be able to do this other than we, the spirit world, and that we have gotten so fat and flabby and out of shape that we're unable to do it. So the first thing we need to do is get strong. And this is why we're incarnating. We're not incarnating with any kind of hope of making a working system. The data shows it's overwhelmingly rotten and needs to come down. We're reincarnating, we're incarnating in order to get strong enough that we as a collective presence of spirit can provide a collective restart.
That's true.
That seems to help. They seem to feel calmer, less freaked out.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, the nature realms is rampaging upstairs. They have only themselves to blame. We have only ourselves to blame. We are the problem.